Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to jump into this with you today. Look, if you've ever wanted to bridge the gap between advanced AI and your physical, real-world hardware, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into an absolute game-changer of a tool, the Luna AI Integration Auto Setup tool. We are going to learn exactly how to connect the Luna platform to top-tier AI assistants, and we're going to do it with basically a single click. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. You want to talk to your hardware, but you are totally dreading the idea of messing with JSON files. And hey, it is completely okay to admit it. For so many of us, the idea of setting up an AI to control physical devices sounds like magic until we hit that brick wall of manual configuration. Trying to find the exact command line paths, stressing out over trailing slashes, carefully editing these incredibly dense JSON files. It's intimidating. Literally one wrong comma and the whole system just refuses to work. It's frustrating, and honestly, it completely gets in the way of the fun part, which is actually commanding your hardware.
But let's keep our eyes on the prize here, because the end goal is just incredible. We're talking about a vast, interconnected ecosystem where AI assistants like Claude Desktop or Gemini CLI seamlessly link up to telescopes, weather sensors, stepper motors, lab equipment, you name it. The ultimate goal is to just use plain, everyday natural language to tell your AI what to do and then have Luna actually execute it out there in the physical world. No complex coding required from you whatsoever.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the Luna AI connection, then introduce the Auto Setup tool, run through the simple configuration steps, and finally, verify your AI connection.
All right, part one, the Luna AI connection, bridging AI and hardware.
So the most crucial thing to understand here is that Luna acts as a bridge. Out of the box, AI assistants like Claude Desktop and Gemini CLI are brilliant, right? But they live entirely inside your computer. They don't have hands. They can't actually touch the physical world. Well, Luna provides those hands. It connects to your physical hardware, maybe that's an astronomy mount or a lab sensor, and it talks to the AI using something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. But for that magic to actually happen, the AI on your computer and the Luna device on your network need to be properly linked up first.
Moving on to part two, the Auto Setup tool, one-click automation.
Think back to the old way of doing this, the manual setup. You had to open up a file called Claude Desktop config.json, manually type out blocks of code, and hunt down the exact absolute file path to the connector on your specific machine. It was tedious and it was so prone to errors. But now, enter the Auto Setup tool. It's this brilliant automation script designed to just do all of that for you. It automatically detects the paths on your Windows PC and flawlessly writes out those complex JSON configurations. What used to take careful, stressful coding now literally takes a double click.
When you download the Auto Setup tool, it comes neatly packed in a zip file. Once you extract that, you'll see exactly 3 files. First up is AI Bridge Connector v2.exe. This is the core connector program doing all the heavy lifting. Second is setupluna.bat. This is the batch file you're actually going to run. And third is the readme.md instruction manual. Now listen carefully because this part is absolutely vital. These 3 files must always be kept together in the exact same folder. The batch script is specifically looking for that executable file right next to it to do its job.
Now, as for where to actually put this folder, you've got total freedom. You can extract it anywhere you want on your computer, dump it on your desktop, stick it right in your C drive, tuck it away in your documents, whatever works. However, there is a catch. When you run this setup, Windows automatically detects the current location of the tool and registers that exact path directly into the AI's configuration files. So whatever you do, do not move the folder after the setup is done. If you move it later, the AI is going to go looking in the old spot and the connection will just break. If you absolutely have to move it, no big deal, but you will have to run the setup batch file again in its new home.
Which brings us to part 3, simple configuration, setup in seconds. Okay, before we get to the fun double-clicking part, there's just one tiny edit we need to make. The default IP address baked into the tool is set to 192.168.3.50. And unless you are incredibly lucky, that is probably not the IP address your home router assigned to your Luna device. We just need to update this default IP to match your actual local Luna IP so the AI knows exactly where to send its commands over your Wi-Fi. So here's exactly how we fix that. Step 1. Just right-click that setupluna.bat file and select Edit, or open it with Notepad. Step 2. When Notepad opens, scroll down toward the bottom. You're looking for that default IP address we just mentioned. You're actually going to find it in exactly 2 locations in the text. change both of them to your Luna's actual IP address, say 192.168.1.100, for example. And then, step 3, simply hit File, Save, and close Notepad. Boom! That's it. That is literally all the coding you have to do.
All right, main event time. Step 1, double-check that your Luna device is actually turned on and connected to the exact same Wi-Fi network as your PC. Step 2, go ahead and double-click that setupluna.bat file you just tweaked. What happens next is actually really cool. A black command prompt screen is going to pop up, and you'll see the script automatically writing all those terrifying JSON configs for you. Step 3, just wait a few seconds until the screen says, Success, all setup procedures have been successfully completed. Once you see that, press any key to close the window. That's it, you are fully configured.
Finally, Part 4. Verify AI connection. Ensure successful link.
If you're rolling with Gemini CLI, which, by the way, is a phenomenal starting point because it has a super generous free tier, verifying your connection is a breeze. Just open your command prompt, type Gemini, and hit Enter to launch it. Inside the chat, type the command /mcp list and hit Enter again. Scan the list that pops up. If you see a little green circle right next to Luna, ready, your connection is a total success. Your AI is officially locked in.
On the flip side, if you prefer the incredibly natural feel of Claude Desktop, checking your connection is just as easy. Simply launch or restart the Claude Desktop app. Take a look at the chat input box at the very bottom. You want to click on that little plug or outlet icon. That's your MCP plugin indicator. When you click it, a list of available tools will pop up. If you see tools in there labeled with Luna, like Lua script transmission or status retrieval commands, you are golden. The bridge is completely active.
And honestly, this brings us right back to the core promise of the entire Luna ecosystem. The source material sums it up perfectly with this quote: "No coding, no manuals, just talk to AI." Thanks to the auto setup tool completely handling all those messy configuration files for you, this promise is now a reality for literally anyone, no matter what your technical background is. You don't have to be a software engineer to automate your observatory or your lab anymore.
Which leaves us with the absolute most exciting part of this entire explainer. Think about it. You have the AI, you have the bridge, you completely knocked out the setup with a single click. So the only question left is, what hardware are you going to command your AI to control first? Are you going to point a telescope at the Orion Nebula? Automate a climate sensor? Try something completely off the wall? The possibilities are quite literally endless. Thanks so much for joining me today, and happy exploring.